Hey, Christopher here with another episode of Geared Up for Summer, and I'm sitting down with Amy from Pack and Paddle in part 2 of her interview, talking about her role as manager and all the things that they offer to customers in Acadiana and beyond. But before we get into this video, let's roll that beautiful B-roll. Well, Amy, thank you again for sitting down today. If you could introduce yourself and tell folks where you work and what you do here.
Absolutely. I work for Pack and Paddle, and I'm the manager here.
So when we last left off, we talked about pivoting during the pandemic, that the norm here is that the norm is not normal. What are some of the things as a manager you've learned over the years? Because, folks who are new to management or maybe managing in different organizations, especially these big box hierarchical ones where everything's kind of super structured, it's a little different when you're in a local store where I don't want to say you're autonomous because you do have similar practices. But what are some things that you've learned working here?
Whenever talking to you and how you talk about rooted and how you talk about it being an environment where you encourage your staff to have a healthy relationship with work.
Yep.
That is something that I've definitely learned is important. I find that the same things that John and Becky as owners have put in place to encourage us to, one, inspiring horizons.
Yep.
And 2, our mission statement to embrace the community in a way that leads them to a lasting experience in the outdoors. And so I have learned that it's important to hire people from the get-go who have this craving inside of them to inspire those horizons.
Yep.
And in hiring someone that has that craving, working here becomes something that feeds and gives them energy.
Yep.
And if you try to force someone into something where it's not authentic to them, it also doesn't deliver for the customer.
That's another thing we're talking about, just health and we're talking, I have come to terms that I exhibit the tendencies of a workaholic. Now, it would be funny, some of my peers would probably think that I take a lot of breaks comparatively. My industry is high demand. The people I work with, because I contract for large companies, are amazing. Like, I don't know how they fit everything in the day. But what would be something, if someone was maybe struggling with that, what are some things that you do to keep yourself healthy and balanced and make sure that you don't go towards those tendencies yourself?
So my reset button, and one of the reasons that embracing people and encouraging them to get into the outdoors is a heart thing for me, is because my reset button is nature. And I make sure to use the Acadiana Nature Station, use a place that is close to us.
Yep.
That you can easily get into and be immersed in nature and feel like you're not in the city.
Yep.
I get people in that they're gonna go do a Saturday lunch downtown. They're just shopping for some clothes. And when I can encourage them to also add to that a little hike at the nature station,
exactly.
I've won.
Yes. That is one of the things that my wife and I have done. We always we love to adventure. My mom, when I was growing up, I'm from Rhode Island. I lived in Wyoming and then moved here in Louisiana. One of the things my mom would always do is she would drive. She would drive an area. And I got into that habit, when I would go to different cities, and I traveled a lot. So I would just drive the first night, partly to decompress. I would call, my staff and my wife and just talk to folks. But because I walk every day, then I get to know my city and I or the cities that I'm in, and I would always look for like nature reserves or nature walks. And I quickly realized, that they're everywhere. People are looking for the grand adventure, and I think those are out there, and I enjoy them when they happen. But adventure is literally just around the corner. And recently, instead of taking a prolonged trip during the winter break, which here it's not as cold, so it's a little warmer. We decided just to visit little towns and start to discover all these pockets of nature, pockets of culture. We discovered the paddling sort of trail down the Teche. That's something that you mentioned. You did it in a year, which is really, really cool. I now want to do that. It's like hold my coffee,
Yay,
challenge
I've won.
accepted.
I'm inspired.
Right? and I think that's something that everyone forgets, that you don't have to go to Colorado. You don't have to go to California. You can go here in Acadiana. In fact, that's one thing I think we should do is put in the description below of this video some of the places that you can go that are just a stone's throw away to reset, recharge, and get back some of that energy, you know? So closing thoughts here. If you were to give someone, I'm sure you've got lots of reasons, what is one reason to come here to Pack and Paddle? What are they going to find here that you feel like is unique?
So what I love about Pack and Paddle is when you walk into it, you feel like you've stepped into a store that would be in the mountains. It doesn't feel like a store that is just in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Right. Yeah.
It's got wooden walls, it has a smell to it, but it also has an energy, and that energy is fueled by the people who work here. So you're gonna be welcomed in, and you're gonna feel like you're instantly part of the family. And we're here to find out about why you came to this destination and what you desire for your next adventure to be.
I love that. And I agree with it 100%. I've shared my story with y'all. Just that's partly what made us want to come here to do this and do this series and talk to you, because our experience, my wife and I, when we started kayaking, was phenomenal here. And so I can absolutely agree with that. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you again for sitting down with us.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
This is great. For those of you who are watching, we really appreciate Amy and the entire team here at Pack and Paddle. If you've not had a chance to check them out, I'd be A, shocked, but B, if you haven't, come by, see them. They're incredibly warm and friendly. They will help you along your journey, get started. And of course, if you're an expert, they'll also be able to add a lot of value with the equipment and all their knowledge. Anyway, we hope you like this content. If you do, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Crush the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date with everything we're producing every single week. Tons of videos. As always, we hope that you're doing well. We hope that you're staying safe. We'll see you in the next one.